fairly simple statement was proposed to the contributors. The ongoing construction of a common European horizon is far from being unambiguous and certain. If on the one hand the recognized value of freedom of circulation for people, goods, ideas increased the permeability of national boundaries, on the other hand the need to reaffirm the specificities, so remarking new discontinuities, is emerging among several communities, whether they be economical, territorial, ethnic, political. Hence, there is a need for the European identity to become articulate and complex, interweaving in depth with several national stories and memories. Nevertheless, at the same time, with our session, we wanted to focus on the fact that during this process, the weave of innumerable boundaries traced on the European ground over the centuries represents an asset and an opportunity to trigger enhancement process for places. I mean, places will be only fragments if considered alone. Today, that weave of lines representing either short transitional periods or long-term configuration might become a basic structure for imagining a common landscape. The first issue we laid on the table concerned the nature, the real matter of this sort of network. What we talk about when we talk about boundaries, past and present. Or in other words, are boundaries just physical signs drawn or built across territories? Well, the answer was definitely no. The wave of signs traced on the ground is very dense and complex along history. All the origins, the intentions, the forms that this division assumed are multiple, and most of the time they can be squeezed into an obvious linear schematization. Against a so wide and seemingly inextricable catalogue of forms, there is another statement to consider. All that lines drawn on the ground are just the physical manifestation of previous cultural discontinuities. In other words, those borders have been traced before than on the ground, inside the mind of their inhabitants, most of the time inside the mind of those who were controlling those places, militarily and politically. For this reason, their specific physical and spatial configuration are deeply linked to the history of ideas and of interpretative paradigms of reality. The second question concerned the many different subjects involved in the process of redesigning a common landscape. Throughout the session, the debate about past and present European borders was explored through experiences such as projects, plans, researches, where reading and recycling both traces and memories had proved to be fundamental to the landscape transformation. This transformation might have concerned the promotion of a sustainable tourism capable to intercept new and growing flows of people, or the improvement of reusing practices among local communities. The session focused on operations that promote specific qualities and differences, but also an operation that at the same time may have supported the development and consolidation of an articulated and complex common imaginary by composing signs and memories. And finally, just a few words about the how, about the most useful tools to manage this kind of architectural and spatial transformation of our environment. Without any doubt, maps and plans are essential supports. There, one can read objectively the stratification of lines, of borders, the nodes between different layers. But by a certain point of view, zenithal drawings are not enough alone. They just help to highlight the problem, but they do not help in solving it. It is rather the section the most adequate tool to put things together, to reorder them in a new spatial taxonomy. It is just in the section that things can coexist, even if at different level, overcoming that all the traditional binary conditions set up by boundaries. And it is just by designing through sections that divided spaces can come back into dialogue, reenacting the rich and complex identity that characterize our experience of the contemporary territories.